It follows? Heh, more like it swallows. This is another indie film where atmosphere and style substitute for story and character, and we're expected to be scared just because a crazy looking guy stands in the distance against some background music. I mean, that's not scary. I mean, you're getting a lap dance with no happy ending. You build up all this tension, but there's never a release. If this and other movies that depended on solely atmosphere and tricky camera work, kind of like the other movie I covered, Maggie. If these movies were women, they would be day trippers, big teasers, take you halfway there and stop, and then realize that they stole your fucking money. That is, if you saw them in theaters. Now, given a choice between the two of these films, there's no question that It Follows is the more skilled, ambitious, and at least kind of has a story, unlike last year's hideous Under the Skin. People are praising this as both an example of a great modern horror picture and a parody of the genre itself, because it's got a bunch of different people stalking this paranoid teenage girl at first. It's not funny. Like you get this senile old man or lady, I don't know what the fuck it is. They all look the same, following in a nightgown down the school hallways, and she just like, he's coming. It is never made clear that this is merely a coincidence, because that this isn't the real ghost thing that chases them, because the scene ends, it just cuts, and the raisin could have said, "Have you seen the prune juice, young man?" I mean, it's trying to be a real thing. Now, this film is incredibly stylish, but if you recall a similar horror movie from 2008 starring Liv Tyler, wherever the fuck she is now, The Strangers, and it was universally ripped apart, like, when I actually thought it was pretty funny. Now, that movie at least had the courage to say, you should not take this seriously. These killers could do whatever they want to this couple, and yet they decide to just fuck with them, throw shit through windows, and play hide-and-seek the whole night. And this is the same thing that M. Night Shyamalan did in his mediocre Signs. He played on what doesn't exist for a cheap applause, like oh, Janet, there's just a ghost, but it's nothing at the same time. Critics' approval. It's not like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a black hole. It's like pulling a fart out of his asshole. It's just nothing to fucking work with. And yet I enjoyed the movie, because it's so beautiful. Now, thankfully, It Follows makes up for this with luminous star Maika Monroe, a professional kiteboarder, no less, who anybody outside of California had no idea even counts as a sport. So her breakthrough in no way involves penetration. Just kidding, plenty of it. But you wouldn't think so, because she takes all her aggression out on sports in real life. Now, in fact, sex in this movie is seen as a direct cause of universal vengeance. I bet Pat Robertson's going to love this one, let me tell you. The STD is this stalking force, I guess. The following thing that gets passed on to other people. But the real twist of this little game it plays is that if it kills the person who has it, it kills everyone else who had it before. It's kind of like AIDS dominoes. Or just AIDS, actually, because you can't just pass it on and then be devoid of it. But given a choice, I would definitely take this over AIDS for that reason. And the film is also graced with Lynchian hues in the shots, and they just glow, and there's always a lot of space left open in the shots, so that the eye is free to look for danger wherever it might be. And for the most part, there really is none. It's just this ghost is a troll. And I found the thing interesting. I mean, oh, what the hell? It was fucking cool. Now, everything I said before was fail at trying to criticize and be hipster. And now I'm being hipster precisely by not being hipster. Now, look, the thing about Maika Monroe being in it, my female PE teacher is the hardest exercise machine I've ever seen. She's young, she's okay looking, she's full of energy to work out, and just pumping it harder than any of us could. Any of us guys. She outdoes all of us, and yet she's still got plenty of time and energy to bitch endlessly at us for expecting an A just for showing up like any regular fucking gym class. And it really goes to show that there is no substitute for cock exercise for women. Maybe that's why Micah did this movie. No matter, It gets downright laughable in the second half once the invisible force actually assaults the teenagers played by people who are obviously not teenagers. One of the running gags is that the ghost is this is the most polite ghost I've ever seen. It always knocks on the door first, but it doesn't say anything when it knocks. So of course white people answer. It's just like, oh, it must be the mailman. Just like, no. Like, you never do that. Like, black people, let me tell you, you're gonna have a lot of fun at this movie. You know, you're gonna laugh your ass off, like, even more so than any fucking horror movie that I can think of. Jaws, like Exorcist, all that shit out the window. Because, you know, black people ain't opening that door with shit like, bitch, knock that shit off, or I'll come around the window and shoot your ass. But if the ghost was smart, it might be able, if it actually said some shit, like, yo, man, just Joe the crackhead, man, I need a little bit for the road, no, I'm staying home, come on, man. You best get the fuck off my property, or my landlord property, before I crack your head open. You know, and Ghost is like, shit. This is the police. We have a warrant. You got 3 seconds to open up before we shoot your mama. Like, oh shit! Ah, Ghost! Yeah, oh yeah, but let me tell you, the ones in the audience, they will not fall for that shit. They'll be like, don't open the door, dumbass cracker! What's some naked old cracker with no dick standing on top of the roof for? We already know he ain't got nothing. Like, get the fuck out of the water! What is the fuck wrong with you? You had him. You had the ghost. Don't you know you crackers get soggy when you go in water? You know, maybe it is a parody after all. The ultimate guide to what not to do in a ghost attack. And the ghost ain't even half as scary as crabs. So he just throws shit at people, and all you gotta do is not open the door, don't go in the water, and, you know, I guess it's a lot of fun. Point off for stupidity anyways. If you fucking like atmosphere and shit, you know, see it.